Hi everyone, Lucy here. If you get offended quite easily, then I suggest you move on to another video because, um, sometimes I say things that just don't come out right, or I say things that can offend people quite easily. And I guess that's just me because I don't like to sugarcoat anything. I don't like to, kind of sit here and make up a story. But anyway. What I hate the most is when the exes come involved in the relationship again. Like, you sit there, you're finally happy, and then, like, a week or two later, the ex finds out that you're with someone, and then they try to interfere in the relationship. It's like, you're obviously an ex for a reason. You don't need to come back in their life. Regardless whether there's a kid involved or there's another situation, whatever it is, like, you don't need to sit there and be like, I love you, I want you back, I want to get back with you, and I'm just going to sit here and be a total stalker and just message you a million times a day and, ring you at 3 o'clock in the morning because that's just what we do. Like, go away. Go build a bridge. Go take a long walk off a short pier. Cry me a river. Do whatever the fuck you want. Just don't annoy me. Like, I was in a 7-year relationship, and then when I got out of it, yeah, I was depressed for like a week or two, but he moved on quite quickly, and I didn't sit there and be like an obsessed bitch and message him a million times a day and be like, I love you, I want to get back with you, I know you have a girlfriend, but I'm better. Like, that's just stalkish, and that's just obsessive, and actually a bit psychotic in a way. And then, like, you got the exes that are like, the phone in their hand, like every 10 seconds, messaging their ex, like, I love you, I want you back, I want to get back with you. Well, sorry, I just said that. See, when I rant, sometimes I repeat myself. I'm really sorry if I repeat myself, but it's just like, how obsessed can you be? It's like, do you not get the picture that, obviously, if they're not sitting there saying that, yeah, I want you back in my life, or that there's a new girlfriend there or boyfriend, and they're not dumping them to get back with you, obviously that's a sign that it's just not going to happen, and that's when you just need to go away now. And it's like, they just do not get it through their head at all. Like, you can sit there and be like, I'm not getting back with you. I don't love you anymore. I'm happy in my new relationship. Yet they always try to manipulate their ex somehow into not so much getting back with them, but they'll try and find ways of trying to get their partner back. And it's like, well, you can be a side bitch all you want, but it's just not going to happen. Like, you can try everything, it's just not going to work. But then there are some weak people out there that always do go back to their exes. And, lucky for me, I'm a strong person. I've been through a lot. And I can tolerate my ex in my face with his new girlfriend quite easily. I'm not going to sit there and say that, I get angry or whatever when he sits there and tries to rub shit in my face. But at the same time, I'm happy in my new relationship. And then also, because there's an ex involved in that relationship, yeah, it does piss me off. But at the same time, like, I love my partner. I'm not going to leave my partner. And I'm strong enough to be able to stay in the relationship and not leave him because some side bitch wants him back. And, if you're in that situation, then you need to think, because I know that there is a lot of relationships out there where the ex is involved, and then, they end up dumping their partner because they're sick of the ex just being in their life constantly, because whether there's a child involved, or you know, you've got disputes over other things. Like, if you love the person enough, then you won't leave the relationship. You'll stay there. And if you do stay in that relationship, then you know that you've got something stronger than what they had. It's pretty clear, because they're not going to sit there and leave you for them again. If you can show them that, you know, that you love them and that you care for them and that you're always going to be there for, you know, for them. I made a promise to my boyfriend that no matter what, I'd be there for him. You know, I'd stick by him and put up with whatever it is that was going to happen with the ex. And I tend to keep my promise. I mean, like, it can annoy me at times when, you know, she's sitting there constantly saying, you know, I love you, I want you back, and, you know, come here to be with me. And, you know, when I'm on the phone to him, then she knows, and then she'll just constantly ring him or message him until he'll eventually have to answer, only because she won't stop. But I love him, so I'm not going to sit there and be like, well, stuff you, your ex is pissing me off, end of the relationship. Like, you obviously don't love the person enough if you're going to plan on walking out on that person. Okay, I'm also strong enough to be able to take on someone else's child full time. And to people, that's just like, how can you sit there and do that? How can you be comfortable with that? Well, obviously it's time to grow up. Like, I'm 28 years old and I've had to grow up pretty quickly since I was 15 years old. I didn't have time to muck around and whatever. Yeah, I had my fair share of, like, clubbing and whatever. Then I had kids, and when you have kids, that's when you stop partying, going out, and you have to make your life obviously stable with everything. But the whole ex thing, like, what gets me is why they do it in the first place. It's like, they have to think clearly. Like, they're not gonna sit there and think that they're gonna break up with their girlfriend or boyfriend just to get back with them, and then think that everything's gonna be normal and fine and whatever. Like, because you gotta think that section between when you break up and you're, like, on that break when you've just broken up, yet they didn't want to get back with you then when you weren't with anyone. They usually wait until you're with someone, and then that's when they try to wreck the relationship, because they can't stand the thought of you, you know, having sex with someone else, kissing someone else, hugging someone else, because it's just too much for them to bear, only because they're not happy. I guarantee if they found someone else, then they most likely wouldn't be doing that to you and trying to wreck that relationship. Like, I've been through so many different relationships. Like, I know that sounds really bad, but as in, I mean, like, I've always had bad relationships. None of them have ever obviously turned out. You know, I've been through, like, abusive relationships. I've been through depressing relationships. I've even been through a fucking gay relationship where I was with a guy and he turned gay on me. Like, alright then. Mind you, I'm not the one that turned him gay, so don't even think that. But I'm just, like, I know these things, and I know that how they're going to pan out. Like, with his ex, I know exactly what she's going to say, and I already know the situation that's going to happen before it even happens. And then, like, I try to kind of plan it in advance, because it's like I have to kind of prepare myself for when that actually does happen. And her being around and whatever, she's always going to be in his life because of the child. And I understand that, I respect that, and I'm going to be there for him no matter what. And, you know, I'll publicize that, because I think that he's a strong enough guy to be able to put up with, you know, the drama between the ex, then the drama of kind of me complaining every now and then about it. Yeah, and I love him for actually sitting there, being able to put up with that, and kind of listen to me rant about it now, because I know he's most likely watching this video. But he knows that all the stuff that I've been through, and he knows that I would never leave him for something that she's said or something that, she's tried to do. And I'm not just speaking on behalf of our relationship, I'm speaking about, anyone in general that's kind of had to deal with a relationship where the ex has to always be in their life, or just doesn't kind of get the hint or the idea that they don't want to get back with you, yet they just constantly keep trying. And I will never sit there and just walk out because of it. That's just, I don't know, that to me that's just low to do that. And I'm a really nice person, and I can put up with a lot, surprisingly. I can sit here and have someone yell at me for hours, and I still won't bite back. I won't fight back. I just won't. That's just me in general. And, you're all probably thinking, you're crazy to be able to put up with that. Why would you do that? Well, if you think that your relationship or your love is strong enough for that person, then you'll keep at it, and you'll keep going with it, and you'll do what you can to make your relationship last, whether the ex is there or not. Everyone goes through dramas in a relationship. I don't know one relationship where there hasn't been a fight or an argument over an ex. And lucky for me, I've got my kids, but their dads are not involved. And, my boyfriend doesn't have to put up with that. But he does have to put up with some of the guys that constantly comment me or try to talk to me and whatever. But he still knows that I'm with him, and he knows that I would not leave him for them. And that's what kind of makes our relationship strong. And I'm sure there's people out there that will, that you found the right person just by the way that you are with each other, and then you go by the amount of drama that's in your actual relationship. And if you can get through that full-on drama, not have an argument over that drama, that's when you know you're perfect together. Like, me and him don't argue over it. We don't fight over the fact that there's an ex involved. Like, he might get cranky at her, but between me and him, we don't have an argument over it. We don't fight over it, because I don't think that it's anything that we should fight over with it. I mean, she's gonna be there in his life the whole time. And I knew that from the start of that relationship. So I was willing to take that on. And that's something that I'm going to have to deal with. But I'm fine with it at the same time. And I think that it's important when you talk about things in a relationship as well, because that can help the situation. And, at times when I'm feeling a bit down or insecure about it, then I'll sit there and actually say to him that, I feel this and that and whatever, and I think that we should do this and whatever, and then we sort it out. We do not fight over it, which is probably a good thing, because it's probably the only relationship where I haven't actually had an argument with a boyfriend, and I'm actually quite happy. And regardless of what people say about my situation, whether it's on Facebook, YouTube, in person, my family, whatever, I will not leave him. I don't intend on leaving him because of drama. And I know at the beginning of the video I was kind of oh my god, ranting about it, because of just some days where it does get on my nerves, but at the end of the day, you know, you have to be mature about it, and you have to be like, well, I'm not a 15-year-old. I'm not going to sit here and break up with them because, you know, their ex is trying to do this. Like, you know that the ex is trying to do that, so you don't let it get to you. I mean, if you're in the same situation right now, like, don't sit there and kind of blame your partner for it. You need to think, well, the ex is doing it for this reason and this reason only, not for the fact that your boyfriend's stringing them along or your girlfriend's stringing them along to come back, because that's usually not the case. And a lot of people do think that when it comes to the ex being involved, they think that, you know, their girlfriend or boyfriend is stringing their ex back into the relationship when they're actually not. And it just comes down to whether you trust your girlfriend or boyfriend enough, you love them enough, you care for them enough. And, you know, I made a lot of promises at the beginning of the relationship, which I intend to keep, and I don't break my promises. And I wish that, you know, in the past that I could have had this type of relationship that I have now, but unfortunately, the saying goes that you have to go through a few before you find the right one. And I'm just grateful that now that I have found the right person, regardless of the drama that I have to put up with. And, you know, I'm really proud of my boyfriend for just basically taking all this shit in that he has to put up with. You know, he deserves a freaking medal for what he has to put up with and what he does daily. Not going to sit here and tell you specifically what he does daily or what he has to put up with, but I can tell you now that he puts up with a lot. And, you know, as a girlfriend, I am really proud of him for what he does and what he just keeps doing, and he stays strong. And, you know, he supports me with a lot of things, I support him with a lot of things, and we just make the relationship work. Like I said, we do not argue, and if we think that we're about to argue, we settle it before it even actually happens. And I've never been in that type of relationship before, but now that I am, I'm just like thankful, really. And, you know, if you've got any questions for me or there's something that you want to ask me, then tell me, because, you know, like I said at the beginning of the video, I've been through a lot. I kind of know how to deal with different types of relationships. I've been able to kind of work out how a guy can respond to something before it even happens. Like, you can just read them, basically. And that's what happens when you go through too much drama in bad relationships. And this is my only good relationship that I've been in, and I'm like 28, so that's pretty bad. But now that I'm at that age where, you know, I've got the 2 kids, he's got kids, and, you know, we can just all settle down now and just be happy. And that's all I'm thankful for. And if he's watching this video, then I'm sure that he knows that I love him and I care for him a lot, and I'm always going to be there for him. And I'll do what I can to protect him and his family over anything that happens. So, like the video, subscribe, comment, ask me questions. If there's another video that you want me to do, or, you know, you need advice on something, then let me know, because usually a lot of people will tell me that I'm kind of good at giving advice, I'm good at listening. So just inbox me, comment, let me know. Sorry if this video seems a little bit, you know, kind of foggy or a bit messed up and whatever, but I just kind of say things as it comes. I don't sit here and plan what I'm going to say. And sometimes I do actually find that I will repeat myself, but, you know, either way, I get to kind of rant about what I want to say. I let it all out, and once it's all out, then I'm fine again, and that's all that matters. So thanks for watching my really long video, and don't forget to leave your comments below. Thanks.